basically the plan is that I'm going to use the biro pen to go over it and then start cross-hatching, a little bit like how I do my digital sketches or my sub-for art drawings. Guess it's worth a try. Let's do a time lapse on this one. So here's me doing a little bit of cross-hatching there. How I do it is that you start off heavy, hard on the paper, I guess. Not too hard, I will say. It's still light, but you're kind of, again, the same logic to using the coloured pencils. You start off dark, and then you make it gradually lighter. I really do like the method of biro. For some reason, using biro pen just feels a little bit more natural to me. I love how I can kind of like work into this line, for example, and it sort of leaves this very sort of clean and defined line. And even if it isn't quite smooth, it almost kind of works still. So the idea would be to start cross-hatching in certain areas. I already did a little bit in the eye. I'm gonna go and do a little bit of cross-hatching on some parts of his body. Okay, so I think I've done what I wanted to do with the cross-hatching. I realised that there wasn't a hell of a lot I could do because he is quite a light character in itself in terms of his colour and stuff. So now before we actually do anything, since I've not done this yet, I'm going to go ahead and use my rubber, get rid of some of the pencil lines that are currently there. So we have Cool Grey 3, Cool Grey 2, Cool Grey 1. You can get them for $6 in a pack, possibly for the same amount of price that you can get for the pale ones. Shall I do like a little test? Let's kind of like put a little square there. I want to see how light they dry. It's funny because the Cool Grey 3 seems lighter to me than that one, or they seem the same. That's very unusual. Well, let's start with the feet. The feet is the easiest part here, isn't it? So let's start with Grey 2. Oh, look at that. So the biro pen is reacting to the alcohol. The weird thing is about it though, is that it looks like it's kind of turning into a blue. The biro pen's turning into like this blue colour. I'm not actually liking the effect. I guess worst comes to worst, if I leave this to dry, I can kind of go over it again. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed about that. I was kind of hoping it'd be a bit nicer than that. So I guess let's try it on this arm. It's really odd because like that's supposed to be darker, but it's looking the same. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it might be getting lighter now it's drying, but I'm not convinced. It seems to be blurring, which is what I wanted. Initially I did want the biro pen to like start bleeding, but it's just not working the way I hoped. I thought it could have looked much nicer, but I'm not sure if I like the blurred effect. Well, we've committed to it now. Let's see what happens if we put some more in the eyes there. That doesn't seem too bad. I think what I'll do though, to kind of help with this, because I feel like that's too similar to this, I'm going to use the Cool Grey 3 to further colour in Kirby's feet. Part of me is thinking I should go darker than that. Maybe Cool Grey 4? Going really dark now. Yeah, that's kind of the sort of dark I wanted, because in essence Kirby's feet, in contrast to his actual body, is quite dark, so that was kind of what I wanted. Now it will make using the Cool Grey 1 a little bit more justified. The funny thing is that I do have a marker pen, which is meant for, oh that's not it. This is meant to be for blending. The blending marker is supposed to help with blending markers together, but I have, or kind of blend it to white, but I've just had no such luck with it, and I don't know if it's just because of the paper that I use. I think I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to try and shade over the rest of Kirby. The trouble is that I know it's going to kind of do that on this edge here, but hey. Okay, so I've done it now, and this is how it's looking. I will say I probably won't want to cross-hatch like this again, but I quite like how the line itself has held its form, as much as it has blurred these very fine lines, and as much as it kind of strangely looks like it's blurring into a blue colour, which I think that's probably what I don't like about this method. Don't get me wrong, this is a cheap pen, a cheap biro pen. Maybe it would be different if I was using like a Bic pen or something. I feel like I'm more in control with the biro pen over the other ink pen for some reason. Not quite sure why that is. But you can kind of like continue like that if you wanted to kind of try and get the nooks and crannies out of the line work. I think I quite like that. It looks alright besides the cross-hatching there. That looks a bit naff, but now I'm just tempted. I may as well at this point. Let's try using the blender. This is the brush marker, like I said before, the blender brush marker from Winsor & Newton. What I'm going to try and do here is blend out this line that we have of shading there. Okay, so it seems to a certain degree, like it looks strangely better on camera, but yeah, like it kind of works. Effectively, what the blender marker does is that it's colourless, there's no colour to it. It's just alcohol. So the same alcohol that's in these standard colour markers, only it's colourless. Now the idea is that you're supposed to kind of like load it up where the marker is already kind of placed to give like more of a smoother shading from one colour to a white. It seems to work quite well. Now I'm curious about the feet, like what would happen if I was to just apply some on the tips of the feet here. So this is the end result of the Greyscale Kirby using a biro pen. Now, I've tried using the blender on the feet, and again it still kind of works, but for some reason it's leaving these like quite nasty looking blotches. It kind of worked in the sense of it's leaving like this almost kind of gradient effect. It's trying to go back to the standard white of the paper. Now, this would have been great if it weren't for the fact that for some reason it just doesn't want to stay consistent. I mean, it's alright, but if that was not the look you were looking for, you were kind of looking for more of a gradient effect, a very sort of smooth transition from black to white, that's not really what you want. I think the best way to do it is like what I did with this basically on Kirby's body. Like, instead of having the grayscale already placed down as one solid colour, just kind of leave a little patch of white at the tip of his foot, and then you can kind of blend in the dark grey of his foot into that white that you've left. So I think that's probably the best way to deal with that. This was a really interesting test though. I've never done this before, in the sense of I've never thought to cross hatch and then use marker pen over the top of it. I'm just not a fan of this biro pen, I don't think. I think that maybe the biro pen is just not very good. It doesn't seem to hold its colour very well. But on the other hand, if you're not being as light as this and you're kind of using very thick lines, it seems to hold its form really well overall. So a cheap biro to do inking like this, you know, quite frankly, you've got no excuse. You don't need an expensive uni pin specialist drawing ink pen. You know, just get a standard biro pen that are being handed out free from somewhere. So yeah, that was kind of like an interesting little kind of test, I suppose. It's been a while since I've done any actual inking traditionally like this, and it's quite a nice welcome change to the usual. So yeah, I guess this is the end of the video. Thank you so much guys again for all of the support on the Patreon this month. It means a hell of a lot. I hope to make more videos in the future. I think there's something in trying to learn how to draw through your favourite characters, and I want to see if that's possible to do in my YouTube channel if I can. I want to see if I can make like an Inktober video every day. Doubt it's going to probably happen, but I'll do my best. In the meantime guys, thank you all so much for the ongoing amazing support that you've been giving me over the months. It means a hell of a lot, and I hope to see you all in the next month. You all take care of yourselves guys. Bye bye!